Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. In this video, we're going to be reviewing iOS 14 on the iPhone SE first edition one here that was released back in 2016. Of course, this phone is not what we expect it to be in a lot of ways, but it is a fantastic phone in 2021 because it does get iOS 14 update, not to be confused with the iPhone SE second edition that was released last year in April. That's the second edition one. It's a little bit bigger, that resembles more of an iPhone 8, but this is the iPhone SE first edition phone, and a lot of features going on with this phone. It's a really small phone. It has a 4.8-inch display, not even bigger than that. It really resembles the iPhone 5 and the 5S here in a lot of ways, and it's probably the smallest phone that's still supported on iOS, the latest version of the iOS 14. And we downloaded iOS 14, updated it, and wanted to review that. And if you haven't downloaded iOS 14, it's really straightforward to do. Simply, you're going to go into settings, and once you're in settings, you're going to go to general and then software update, and then here you'll see either you're updated to iOS 14. If not, you're going to download and install, and iOS 14 is running. It's really surprising that iOS 14 was available on the iPhone SE first edition, because it's almost a 5-year phone now in 2021, but we were able to get iOS 14. And with iOS 14, a lot of new enhancements and feature that has come into the phone, things like back tab, your apps widget, and more of newer apps like the translation app, things like picture in picture, where you're able to watch and do pretty much the multitasking, improve directions, things like drawing shape. Of course, a lot more going on with it. All of that stuff, if you download it, you can learn all about it. And in this video, we decided to download iOS 14 to test it out. As you can see here, first thing we'll notice is the app library here, where apps are pretty much categorized in terms of their niche. So you have things like games, you have social media, entertainment, productivity tool, your reading, shopping, your traveling apps. And then the other aspect of this is that these widgets that we're going to show you guys. So if you go up here and edit, click on that plus menu, you're able to get these smart stack widget, big icons. As you can see here, it really enhances the overall view of it. It's been something that a lot of Apple users have been asking for a very long time, and it's finally here. And all of that and more of it, of course, re-improved control bar and much more going on to it. So how is iOS 14 running on the first edition of the iPhone SE? Well, first of all, it downloads. That's good news. That means you're supported. We're not sure if it'll get iOS 15 update, since it is hitting that 5-year mark, but this is iOS 14. And one thing we notice with iOS 14 is that it's no different than running it on iPhone 11 or the iPhone 12, one of the newer iPhones. All of your apps, like your social media apps, are working fine. As you can see here, we're able to go to popular apps like Facebook, your TikTok app, your Twitter, all of those apps are supported. Of course, they are going to be supported, because any popular app that needs to be on, they'll need to be up. They will need the latest version. If you haven't upgraded it, your apps are probably going to be looking for you to go ahead and upgrade to that. Let's talk about the other apps like games. Of course, all the games we have so far that we tested on iOS 14, no issues there. All the popular games are working. Your heavy graphic games versus light graphic games like Temple Run and all that and much more are working. No issues so far on iOS 14, so that's a good thing. We ran iOS 14 on the newer phones, and similarly, we haven't seen any sort of lag or things like that. Usually something we notice when you update to a newer version, you notice things like slowing down, but that is not the case with iOS 14 on the SE. here so far. Performance has been pretty much the same as it has been on the previous version of the iOS. And if you guys are looking for a phone that's really cheap, because you're able to get this phone under $100 and a smaller phone that's updated, that's probably going to last you another year or so with the main update, check out the link in the description section real quickly for you guys that you were able to score this phone. What about things like your entertainment apps? Things like Disney Plus, or pretty much supported. If you have it downloaded, it's gonna run fine. Things like your sporting apps, your ESPN, all of that, and much more, are pretty much supported. And that's the unique thing about it. If you use it for watching YouTube videos and such, as you can see, there is sort of a little bit of slowness in it because it is almost a 5-year phone, and iOS 14 is meant to run optimally on the newer devices like the iPhone 11 and the 12. 12 is the reason why this was released, and hence why slight noticeable performance. Of course, you can't really compare it to a newer phone because it is an older phone, and why would you compare it? It's probably a bigger question. Is you're looking for a phone that's really cheap but running on the latest version of iOS, is able to do things for your everyday, for your multitasking, to your personal finances, productivity, to all of that and much more are working fine. You're no doubt out there. Things like basic calling and texting on this phone, it's pretty much supported. No issues there at all. Even browsing wise, if you're browsing, you'll notice here we're browsing for the phone. Even on a decent Wi-Fi, it works optimally well, and that's the important part about iOS 14, is that a lot of Apple users are concerned that iOS 14 running on an older phone like the iPhone SE might be an issue. Well, we can tell you that it's really not an issue, and it is working as we expect it to, like it is on the newer phones so far. So that's great news for iPhone user that still has this phone. This is probably one of the phones, one of my popular phones back when it came out in 2016, because it is sort of that has that build on it. And the newer iPhone 12 lineup, if you look at it, has the same build. So it's surprising Apple went back to this design for this phone, where it has these more well-defined bezel edges like on the iPhone 12 lineup. And battery performance is another aspect we wanted to talk about it on the iPhone running on iOS 14. We haven't noticed any changes in the battery performance as well. The battery is performing the way it was on the previous iOS 13, so no issues with the battery as well. No glitches or anything like that as well. Optimally running well. So if you're looking to upgrade to iOS 14 on your iPhone SE, we say go ahead and do it. Take the advantage of things like picture-in-picture mode, being able to multitask, these updated app icons and app support as well, and a lot of more going on iOS 14. And iOS 15 is probably going to come out in a couple months. You may not get iOS 15 when it comes out, but at least you get iOS 14 and all the features that it brings in. So hopefully this video is helpful for anyone looking to use iOS 14 on the iPhone SE in 2021. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.